How did it feel to get, before we go into what happened, how did it feel to get back on the court after waiting so long and going through such an extensive recovery process?
I mean, it felt good, just like you said, it's kind of been a while, so, to get back out there and just get flowing with my teammates. Honestly, coming back to practice was, more enjoyable than getting out to the game, but, just starting that process of just coming back and, coming to our team again was nice. It's really nice.
How hard was it to get back?
It was pretty hard, doing a lot of workouts, probably 3 or 4 workouts a day. I'm just trying to get my body back in shape, regardless of, my head, once that's fine, just get my body back, make sure my muscles are where they need to be to, play Big Ten basketball. So I think coming back, the process was a little challenging, but, got through it and we're here now, so it's really good.
And then when we talked at Media Day, you said how you were excited to put together a healthy season and show everybody, what you tried to expand in your game. What was the preseason like? How did it happen?
Preseason was going pretty good, just a lot of basketball being played. Kind of happened during practice, live basketball. We're going to contest the shot, and Felix contested from behind, reaching up, and then once I turned around, he just kind of dropped his elbow on my forehead, and I just kind of how it happened. Just within the play of the game, play of basketball, just kind of happened.
And did you have an idea that it would take so long to come back, or?
No, I didn't think it was going to be. I thought my first one that I had last year, I thought that was kind of more, I guess, concerning for me than this one. So, I mean, I guess direct impact kind of made a big difference. Kind of had the process elongated, but I didn't think it was going to take that long.
Why was that one more concerning than this one?
I don't know, just the way I fell and everything. The whole just force behind the ball, the play. The 2 plays when you match them up, one seems worse than the other, but the second one had more of a, much more impact on, I guess, me as a person.
Did it take longer to get back because of the fact that you had one last year and it was kind of taking away?
I mean, I'm not too sure. Nobody's really 100% with the brain, but I would assume that having a second concussion year in a row, and this one being direct impact to the head would kind of make the symptoms of what matters worse.
There's a lot of guys that work on the team last year in the game. What do you remember about that environment? What can you share about it?
So yeah, with that game last year, I was of course hurt with concussion. I was in the back watching it, but I could still hear the atmosphere that was going on out here, and see it on TV. Just the energy that those guys went into the game with, for us to get a win, everybody from the court. It was a nice big moment. So I know the shots gonna be packed out this year for the same thing. Number 1 team. I'm just excited to get out there and actually participate this year.
What was it like
having big moments that you've already played in North Carolina and now organizational to prepare you for this one?
Well, I didn't play in any of those games, unfortunately, but it definitely prepares the team. Just playing in big games, big competition, big time moments. Having those lights around, it kind of sets you up for games like this. We want to play games that matter. So, this is one of them. So it's another game for us.
What was it like for you watching again from the sideline, especially from the start of the year when most guys are kind of getting in their groove? You're on the bench and having to just cheer guys on a lot of the time.
I mean, it was definitely a struggle because, like I said, junior year, I'm excited to get out there, play, prove. But, it's still just being out there, being around those guys, watching them work, being able to, give my perspective of, being, I guess, a leader, a captain, give my perspective from the sideline and just, try to give little insights of what's going on. Definitely helped them out there.
And what did you see in watching this team? Because it is such a new team. What was kind of your perspective? You see practice every day. You see what happens on the court. Just how things have come together so far this year.
I think just the kind of definition of roles, I guess to say, just seeing how everybody kind of comes together and clicks, just merges, plays off of one another, plays with each other. I think just kind of seeing that aspect develop has been enjoyable.
Eugene, you mentioned the process of having to get back in game shape and being cleared. At what point were you cleared head-wise, and then how much time did it take to get back in game shape?
I was probably cleared head-wise at the 7-week mark coming off my concussion, and I'd probably say by the 8.5 week mark, I was kind of back in somewhat game shape. I'm able to go through most of the practices and stuff now. So it was kind of hard to come back fully because there wasn't a lot of live practices that we could go through, so I can kind of get playing against each other. A lot of games back to back, we don't do too much live stuff. So I think just basically taking that process and just working out over those days consistently kind of got me back into that shape.
And then before you could get back on the court, what kinds of things were you able to do? Maybe just in terms of off the court stuff to work on your game, or maybe it's film study.
I was doing a lot of lifts, a lot of conditioning, stuff like that. And just come back on the court was really just getting up and down, moving, getting my legs back under.
What did you like about how you were playing before this concussion?
Before the concussion, I just felt really good about where I was. Coaches felt confident in me. I felt confident in myself. It was just really good basketball being played. So just just trying to get back to that point, really.
And thinking back to the last couple times you guys have played Purdue, you've had some moments. Think about like contesting Zach Edey. Kyle seemed to really take some of that on his shoulders and frustrate him, even though giving him some height. You do some Kyle Young type of things in your game. Is this type of matchup something that you feel like that could be part of your role for this game?
Yeah, Zach Edey's not a one role player. Like, you know, we can't just put Zed on him and say, Zed, you know, you defend him. Like, it's a whole team role, like focus, team, I guess, detailedness. Like, it's just a lot of focus that goes into, you know, guarding this person. It's not just one person. So my role could definitely help with that, but you know, it's a team effort.
How have you and your teammates been able to prepare to play with one team in college basketball? I mean, of course, last year it happened that your team was beating them here on the home court. Now it's Purdue from the Big Ten. Does that change anything differently?
I mean, I think it adds a little more because it's not a non-conference game. You know, last year Duke was, you know, number one. They were non-conference, but this is, you know, conference play. Number one team in the country, and nobody wants to lose. They just came off a loss, so I mean, nobody wants to lose Big Ten conference. So just adds to it, really.
How have you seen Zed over the last few practices? Talking about Zach Edey and whatnot. How has Zed Edey practiced the last few games going up against a guy like Zach Edey and what Purdue brings?
Everybody's been locked in, really. You can't just say one person, but Zed has been, you know, a big focal point, being that he has to guard him. A lot of focus on the bigs, a lot of focus on, you know, guard coverage. But practice has been solid. Everybody's just been really locked in, really detailed.
Do you expect anything different from them, given that they are coming off their first loss? Does that change anything in what you guys anticipate?
I think with any team, you know, coming off a loss, nobody wants to lose 2 in a row. So coaches are always, you know, pounding the fact that, you know, we just lost. Nobody wants to, you know, go 0-2 in conference. So we're definitely going to get energized and ready to go Purdue. But, you know, we're ready for it.
You mentioned their guards. Obviously, they start 2 freshmen. You start freshmen in your backcourt. What have you seen as you prepared for them and looking at what they have in the backcourt?
I see a lot of scoring in the backcourt with their 2 guards, Lloyd, the shooter, and then the point guard. Don't know his name, but they produce a lot for them. You know, second to Edey, of course, but not really much of, you know, too much of the main focus on us. But you know, we have our details that we have.
Gene, they get to the free throw line a bunch. I think like 25% of their points are coming with the charity stripe. How do you balance guarding a team of that size without fouling?
Just certain things to work on in practice. You know, we go through a lot of defensive drills where we're emphasizing not fouling, just trying to play the right way, do the right things in the court. So I think that preparation will help us going into the game.
Last couple.